It's Terri Murphy, presentation skill coach and consultant about how you can be the rock star of your next presentation. I invite you to get my ebook, which is at terrimurphy.com, on the 10 tips to help you rock your next presentation. It's not that hard if we pay attention. And speaking of paying attention, how many times have you felt that you were interrupted? How does that feel? I'm going to say not so good. And here's why. So often we set ourselves up for interruptions, but if we are the interrupter, it's just as bad. There's a couple of points on that, and one of them is get to the point. Sometimes, especially if you're looking at behavioral styles, there are people that want to get to the point. And if you're going on and on and on about distractions, they won't hear you. And the second one is, of course, how does your voice sound? Especially if you're in a situation where you're on a microphone, make sure that A, it's not too loud or not too soft. And the third thing, of course, is to pause. When you pause, you give people an opportunity. And so oftentimes we will interrupt someone ourselves because we don't give them the time to finish their thoughts. How do you be gracious and respectful is to ask them, is there another thought you have? Because when you do that, they probably have, 90% of the time is what the statistics say, they have another thought. Well, when you allow someone to finish their thoughts, you don't miss information, you understand where they were coming from, and if you have a question, it's a great time to ask. At the end of the day, interruptions hurt. They don't make someone feel respected. It really damages the trust and the rapport. And it's important for you to understand that sometimes people are searching for the best way to say something if they don't feel from body language or from your eye contact that you got what they wanted to convey. Here's the thing, communication's tough to begin with. We have more distractions now than ever. If it's not technological, it's something in the room. And sometimes interruptions are a good thing. If the building's on fire, you need to interrupt. If someone's about to hurt themselves, you need to interrupt. But you do it with, you still got to be gracious about the whole thing. Think about even with your family, how often you interrupt them or finish their sentences. And I'm going to tell you, I do that occasionally, and I stop myself and go, that's not nice. Because it's not fair unless someone's struggling, and then you can say, were you thinking of X? Interruptions are, there's so many kinds, there's so many that are good, are not good. But at the end of the day, think about it. When you interrupt someone, you often convey that what you have to say is more important than what they have to say. And so often, especially if you have a certain age, you want to interrupt so you don't forget what you wanted to tell them. Hang on to that thought. Say, oh, remind me, I've got something to tell you. Because it just makes sense to make that other person feel seen, valued, and heard. And there's some great books out there on how to be the rock star of your presentation, because at the end of the day, people want to be or listen to people like you, and you want to do it in the best way possible. I'm Terri Murphy. Join me every Tuesday for a tip on how you can be the rock star presenter you were meant to be, or email me for any consultation or coaching at terrimurphy.com. Make it a great week and just count how many times you've been interrupted or you interrupt. It will open your eyes to a new way to look and how to be influential. Have a good week.